The other day, my husband mentioned how many more days there were until spring. I found it hard to believe, especially since this morning the ice just formed on all the plants that are here at Old Stonewall Farm. Not only ice, but snow kept falling. But if I listen carefully, even the birds can't wait for spring to come. They decided to sing their song of hope even as the snow fell. But as we continue our Lenten journey, I think about a poem that Robert Herrick wrote back in the 17th century. He wrote it for Candlemas, and it begins with "Down with the rosemary and boughs, down with the mistletoe. Instead of holly, now upraise the greener box to show." What is the greener box that we put up after Christmas has long gone? What is the greener box to show that will give us hope in the season of Lent? Come, join me at Old Stonewall Farm as we continue our Lenten journey. I just got back from the store because I want to do a project that I hope will cheer me up, will get me out of my winter blues. It is still snowing here in Vermont, and as I said to you in my most recent video, I really don't want to bring you another snow scene, but we are getting snow, and the forecast for the next 2 weeks is more snow to come. So there's the old wives' tale that the woolly bear, this little caterpillar, can predict what kind of winter you're going to have. The black part of the caterpillar up front is really thick. That means you're going to get a lot of snow at the beginning of winter. And if the tail end of this little caterpillar, if the black part is narrow, it means we'll have an early spring. Well, I reported to you that this year it was quite scary. The woolly bear had a very thick band of black on the tail end, which means we were going to get hit with a lot of snow at the end of winter, meaning in March, right before spring. And sure enough, we are having a lot of snow. So I went to the store because I saw this project a few years ago called Lenten Grass. Basically, you grow grass through the season of Lent. So come Easter, you have signs of new life, of hope. And I can't think of a better project to do right now than the Lenten grass, because I need to see some grass. So I went to the local feed store, and I had to get chicken feed for the chickens and some different food. Please, prayers for Fritz, the puppy. He is being very finicky now with eating, and I'm a little bit worried. We have a vet appointment, but I hope everything's okay. Maybe he's just teething. And I got some planter containers, and I got some soil, some potting soil, but they didn't have a small bag of grass seeds, and I didn't need a big bag. So I got chicken mix. It's to grow, what it says in here. It is basically clover, some grass, and some other kind of herbs. So plant, grow, and feast. So I figured this would be nice to plant, see some signs of new life, and then I'll have something to feed the chickens, because it is a blanket of snow out there. Yes, I need hope. I know that we are in a time of wilderness wandering, and this is a time to embrace the challenges and the isolation. And as we head into the third week of Lent, I have to tell you, I'm failing miserably. I have maybe a bad case of the winter blues, maybe I have some cabin fever, or maybe just everything that has happened in my life has really taken its toll on me. And I think that might be it. Again, there's just so many different directions that I can go, and I just don't know which one is the right path to step on. But I do know this, that path, I want it to be green with grass. So I'm going to do the Lenten grass project. I encourage you to do it too. A lot of people get creative with their Lenten grass, that sometimes they put some stones or they kind of landscape it. I'm not that fancy. I'm just gonna put the soil in and the seeds, and hopefully it will grow. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I don't have a green thumb, so wish me luck. Is this poem that was written in the 17th century, and Fritz wants to say hi right now. Fritz, his tail is hitting the cabinet. I'm not sure if it hurts or not. The poem mentions that after you take down the 17th century Christmas decorations that would have been bay and holly and mistletoe, you replace it with the greener box. And I had no idea what they were really talking about, so I did some more research. And it turns out it was boxwood. And you would put the boxwood up until Eastertide, the poem says. And I thought that was very interesting. And the more research I did, I discovered that colonial homes in the dead of winter, when things are really blah, and especially if they were in northern New England like I am and there's still snow on the ground, they would decorate their homes with whatever greenery they could find. They would try to find ways to bring hope into the winter months, trying to get to spring, but bring hope into what I believe, at least for me, how I read it, bring hope into the Lenten journey. Because on our but as I read it, it's to bring hope on our Lenten journeys. Because our journeys can be tedious, they can be hard, and it is so easy to lose hope. So when I read about the Candlemas Eve poem that was written way back when, and how it goes through each season and what you would decorate your homes with, and what they decorated their homes with would have meaning, it was powerful. So they talk about taking down the Christmas decorations and putting up the greener box, and that would be what would usher in Eastertide. Now, the greener box, the boxwood, has a lot of symbolism as well. It was also associated with funerals. It would grace the caskets. In fact, archaeologists discovered on some Roman burial remains that there were boxwood carved into the marble. To then put up the boxwood, especially in the season of Lent, it's powerful because it reminds us that there is life to come, but yet while the boxwood is symbolizing or was used for funerals and we kind of associated with grief, it still means immortality. So it means that death will be no more. And isn't that what Easter's all about? Overcoming the grave. But in these months, in March, especially early March, to start putting greenery on the mantle, to get a big basket full of boxwood, perhaps. Now mine is artificial. I can't find real boxwood anywhere. So that is why too I'm planting some grass, because I need something real. But to put that in our homes as a reminder that even when everything seems tedious, when everything seems gray, when everything just seems so like, oh, come on now. I want the sun to shine. I want it to be spring. I want it to be summer. Yes, we do rush the seasons. But sometimes we do need that reminder that there is hope. And as I look around my old 18th century house, I realize that I need some signs of life. We take down our Christmas decorations, but we don't think about how to decorate with signs of hope throughout Lent. But the boxwood was one kind of greenery that was used during these months to grace the mantles, to remind us that no matter what, there's always hope.
Down with the rosemary and bay, down with the mistletoe. shift, those times do shift. Each thing is time doth hold. New things succeed, new things succeed as for